Welcome back to another video. My name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress videos for non-techies and non-coders. And in this video, I'm going to do something special. I've been using this new page builder called Elementor, and I made a few videos on it, but I'm actually going to show you how I was using this yesterday. I was testing one of the Pro modules. Now, if you're not familiar with Elementor, it's a free, full-featured page building plugin for WordPress. You can create some amazing things. In fact, a couple days ago, they released a new feature to give you the option to add gradients to different elements, and I'll be showing you that in this video. But they also have a pro version that adds some additional features to the plugin, and one of those features is the ability to add forms. So I was using it and I just felt inspired to see what the plugin could do, and after about 45 minutes, I was able to almost completely recreate the DigitalOcean website. Now, DigitalOcean's website is a beautiful website. You see you've got this beautiful blue gradient, a very stylish contact form here where you can create an account and it just blends into the background. Right here you have a really nice styled feature grid right here with 6 different features. And then you have this different type of pricing grid, and that was going to be a challenge. And then you have a call to action down here that I created. So I wanted to see how far I could go in creating this website with zero code skills and zero code that anyone can do. See if I could do it myself using Elementor and Elementor Pro. And this is what I came up with. So you see I've got that beautiful gradient, and I've got this form right here. I've got a feature grid, and I've got that price table. Pretty spot on, by the way. I got their price table and then this final call to action. Now, it took me about 45 minutes to create this, and what I'm going to do in this video is I'm actually going to create it. Now, normally, I am in all my videos. You can see me right now on the top right. I'm going to actually get rid of that so we can just focus on how to build this page with Elementor. Now, there is one caveat. You can do almost all of it with the free version of Elementor, but there's 2 things you can't do with the free version because they're only features found in the Pro version. So you've got this form here. Elementor Pro has the most powerful visual form creator and styler that I have ever seen. There's nothing like this, and that's part of the Pro package. And then this pricing table right here, this fully customized pricing table, this is only available in the Pro version as well, to be able to come up with a highly customizable pricing table like you see here, which is pretty spot on in every way. And you need the Pro version for this as well. Now, the Pro version is not that much money. They have different licensing options. I do have a link down below, and here's the best part. When you click on my link to purchase Elementor Pro, not only are you going to get an amazing plugin, you're going to get to support these developers that have been so generous with the free version, but I'm also going to give you access to a course that I've created called Elementor Essentials. And so you're going to learn my complete website building system using Elementor, and it is going to save you time. It's going to cut down your learning curve, and it's going to help you to get amazing results in building a web page for yourself that you can be impressed by. So that is Elementor Pro and my special offer. There is a link down below, and I wanted to give you a caveat. The last thing I want to mention before I go is that Elementor has an amazing template library that gives me the ability to export this template, and I can give it to anyone. It's just a file, and then you would import that. So I'm also going to provide a link down below. There's no signups to anything. It's just a link, and you can download this file and you can import it into your template library if you want to see exactly what I did to create this beautiful, beautiful web page right here. Now, and the last thing is, I'm not suggesting you go and copy websites verbatim. No one has a copyright on color schemes and font schemes and overall layout. Obviously, it's not a good idea to take someone's images. It's not a good idea at all. It's not a good idea to take someone's icons. These are guaranteed these are custom icons here. I'm not saying that. You definitely don't want to take people's text, and I'm not suggesting any of that. I was just using this as an example to show you the power of Elementor Pro, and that anyone that wants to build a website can do it without touching a line of code. It just takes having the right tool and having the right training, and you'll get both of those with Elementor Pro and the link down below. So anyways, I'm going to take off and we're going to start building this web page. All right, this is kind of new for me. I'm used to being in every video, but that's all right. This is a learning time to learn exactly how we can recreate any web page that we see on the internet almost exactly. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm assuming that you already have hosting. If you do not have hosting, you could visit ordernewhosting.com and it will take you over to InMotion Hosting. And this is the page you'll see. You'll see a picture of me there. And this is a special discount that they give to my viewers here on YouTube. So normally they might have like a 20% off or 30% off when there's a sale. But for my viewers, you're going to get 57% off, and it is just when you visit ordernewhosting.com, and you can go ahead and order your hosting package from them. It's very awesome, reliable, fast hosting, and it's very affordable. All their support is US based, and you can call them when you need help. You can live chat them, and you can open a ticket. So anyways, here is WordPress. Now I've already installed Elementor, and I've also installed Elementor Pro. Now, Elementor is easy. You would just go to Plugins, Add New, and you can install Elementor that way. And then if you've purchased Elementor Pro, you can download it from your members area, and you can upload that yourself and then activate it. So I'm going to start. So before I begin, there are two tools that I will be using most likely throughout this video, and they are called web browser extensions. Now I'm currently using the Google Chrome web browser, but they are also available for Firefox if you are using Firefox. And these tools are going to allow you to analyze a web page, and this one right here will basically let you know any color that you see on any web page, and this one right here is going to let me know any font on any web page and the size. So let me show you that in action. So here I am on the Real DigitalOcean website, and so the color extension right here is called Colorzilla. So you could just Google Colorzilla and then the name of your web browser, and I'm sure the extension will pull right up. So the way it works is I click on it, and then I choose Pick Color from Page, and I can go like this, and it will show me any color on a page that I'm on. So here's that little bit of a green right there. Let's see if I can go on it, and there's that green. Here's the blue, the different shades of the blue. And what happens is when I click on my mouse, it's going to copy the color code into the clipboard of my computer, and then I can paste it into Elementor wherever I want to put that color. So that is Colorzilla. The other one is called What Font, and you could just search for What Font Chrome extension or What Font Firefox extension, and when you click on this, anywhere you move your mouse, it's going to show you the name of the font and the size. So I'm showing that this is Proxima Nova. Now I do know that Proxima Nova is a paid font. When I click on it, it's going to show me because it says Typekit, but that's okay. We're going to use an alternative font. But what's nice is I'm able to see the size of the font right here, and sometimes the weight, it's just saying it's regular, which is fine. But I can scroll anywhere on over any font and see exactly the size. So this is going to be smaller. You can see it's 16 pixels. The font weight is 600. So we're going to be able to use those values to try to recreate a similar font scheme, not using the same font though, but for a similar size and weight, it'll work out fine. And we can basically hover over anything. So you're going to want these two tools, and I would go ahead and recommend you install it. So right away, what I'm going to do is create this section. And when you look at any web page, it's just a series of sections that have columns. So when I'm looking at this, I see a section with a gradient blue in the background. I see two columns, what you see right here and what you see right here. And this is just some text and a form field and a little bit more text. And this is just simply an image. And when I look here, I see another section with a full column here that is just giving me a headline. And then I see these three columns right here. Each one has an image, a headline, and a little bit of text. And then I see it duplicated. And then when I scroll down, it's the same thing. We have a headline. I am not going to be able to recreate this switcher right here. So when you click on this, it toggles the way they charge. I'm not going to be able to recreate that. But I am going to be able to recreate everything that you see in this pricing grid, and it's going to be pretty close. And then I'm going to skip this map. It's just an image, and this is just a series of images. You can see it's just one big thing of images. I'm going to skip that, and I'll do this final call to action. And so you're going to get the point. So right off the bat, though, I'm going to tell you this form section right here in Elementor, it requires the Pro version. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go to Pages, and I'm going to add a new page, and let's just call this Digital Ocean. All right, and I'm using the Generate Press theme. I'll also have a link down below to it. It's free, but they have an add-on package that gives me the option to disable some elements on the page. So just for cleanliness, I'm going to disable the header, the navigation. I'm going to actually disable all of these because I just want to look at the page builder. And I need to go here and choose Content No Sidebar. So that's letting Generate Press know that I am working with the page builder, and I've got to check on this box. So now when I click on Publish and then I click on Edit with Elementor like this, it's going to open up Elementor, and it's just a completely blank slate, and that's fine. So let's get started. I'm going to first add a new section. And I already know it's going to be a two-column section like this. So now I have these faint two columns right here. So I already know that I'm going to have an image here. So why don't I just first search for image? And let's just get that in there real quick. So I'm going to drag and drop that over, let go. And then when I click right here, I'm going to delete the placeholder, click on the plus, and I have that image right here. As a matter of fact, I've already uploaded it, by the way. So I'm going to click on Insert, and we can see there is my image. Now right here, I already know we're going to have a headline, and then we're going to have a form, and then we're going to have some text. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to click right here, and then here's my heading. So I'm going to drag and drop that. And then I'm going to click right here again, and I'm going to scroll down to the Pro element, and I'm going to choose the form. And I'm going to put that right underneath the heading element. And then right underneath here, I'm going to put, instead of a heading element for that little bit of text, I'm talking about this little bit right here. I'm going to go ahead and use the text editor for that. And let's get that dropped right there. Okay. So now what I'd like to do is get the background looking right in this section. So when I hover over any of these elements here, you see this option here for section. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to say Edit Section. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is click on Style, and we have all these great background options. Now for me, I'm going to use the gradient option, which is right here. And what a gradient is, I even made a video on this yesterday. You need two colors. Now, they are using a gradient here. You can see all the way on the top right, it's a lighter blue than it is on the bottom left. So I'm going to use my color picker. Now, I'm not going to get this exact, but I'm going to get it close enough so that you get the point. So I'm going to choose Pick from Color Picker. And then I'm going to go to the very bottom here, and I'm going to click. And that's going to put that color code into my clipboard. Now I'm going to go back here to Elementor, and so here's the first color of the gradient. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to paste that in. So there you see, we've got the first color of this background. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to get this lighter blue right here. Now this isn't going to be an exact science like I said. So there we go. It's just a little lighter. And let me click this to make that collapse. And then right here, I'm going to put the lighter blue in, just paste it in like that. So you can see we have it. Now, if we want to make it similar to how it is here, we're going to have to tweak it so it's darker here and lighter there. So let's play around with these settings real quick. So I'm going to go from linear to radial. And then I'm going to have it go to the, let's see, how about the bottom left? Let's see if that does it. And I think that actually did it. So I'm going to have to put some spacing so we can better see it and change the colors of these fonts. But we're going to probably have to play around with these just a little bit, these toggle switches here, in order to get it just right. You see that? There we go. I think that's actually probably perfect. So first, let's put a little bit of space between these elements in the top and the bottom, since we're already in the section. So we have this bit of space here and this bit of space here. It looks equal. So I'm going to play around with the spacing here. It's called padding in the Advanced tab to see if I can get close to that. So I'm going to go to padding right here. Now I'm going to have to click on this little link right here to when it's highlighted and you increase one, it increases them all, and that's not what I want. I just want to increase the top and the bottom there. So I'm thinking the top might be 80 pixels. So I'm going to hit 80, and that looks close, maybe a little more than is there. So let's actually go with 70. I think that's pretty close. And then for the bottom, I'm going to put 70 as well. And when you're in Elementor, you can always click on this little tab here to preview what it looks like. So you can see that I'm pretty close actually. A little tweaking to lighten up the color on the bottom left here. So let's go ahead and play with that a little. So I'm going to go back to style and let's see. I'm going to play around with these a little bit just to, there we go. It's lightening up a bit. Okay, that's actually looking very close right there. All right. So now I've got my spacing. I think that I need to have a little bit of padding in this column on the left and right to kind of squeeze it in a little bit, and maybe here as well to make the image a little smaller. So let's do this column first. So I'm going to click here where it says column, and I'm going to click on advanced, and I'm going to do the padding again. I'm going to click on this little link, and for the left and the right, I'm going to just play around with it, maybe 25 or 30 on each side. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go like that. So you can see it's tightening up maybe just a bit more. Maybe I will go a little tighter. Let's see what 50 looks like. Let's see, 50. Okay, that's going to be fine. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to highlight and copy this little bit of text. And I'm going to go to the heading here and I'm going to paste it in just like that. Now let's first make that font color white. So we're going to do that in the style, and then the text color I'm going to choose here, and then I'm going to go to white. So there we have it. Now the font here is a lot thicker and it's a little more spaced out here. So let's see if we can get close to that. Now here's one of the things I don't like about Elementor, and that's when you're using the heading element, I can hit as many enters as possible here and it doesn't reflect there. It's not made to do that. You actually have to put a little bit of HTML in, and it's simple. Whenever you want a new line, you put bracket BR bracket like that, and then it will put it on a new line like that. So that's a little Elementor tip for people that aren't used to coding. And I said there would be very minimal coding in this tutorial. So let's play around with these styles some more and see if we can get it closer. So I'm going to turn on the typography options, and this is going to allow me to customize the typography right here. So first, let's try to get the size. So I'm going to go like this. Actually, I think let's just do this for speed. I'm going to go into what font and see what size it was. So we already know it's a 40 pixels there. So I'm going to go to 40, just like this. Okay, and now I want to make the weight lighter, so it's so thick right here. Let's change that. So I think it's probably about 500 or 400. Let's see, 400. So it's a little better actually, maybe just a tad bit lighter, but I think 300 makes it a little too thin. Actually, I think we're going to go with 300. It looks pretty close considering we're not using a different font. So the line height was set to 50. Let's first click on right here where it says PX, and then let's see if we can go up to 50 and see if we like how that looks. So there is 50, and I guess it's pretty close. Let's see. So there it is, cloud computing designed for developers. And let's exit what font. It looks close enough to me. All right, so you can see the differences in the font that we're using. So let's go ahead and open this up a little bit. Now let's start tweaking our form here. And like I said earlier, that Elementor is the only visual form builder that I've ever experienced that allows you to build the form and style the form visually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the element right here. And now I have the options. So I'm just going to ask for name and email. I don't want message, so I'm going to click on the X. And you see that made that go away. Now also I'm going to get rid of these field titles right here. They're called the labels. I'm going to click right there to get rid of the labels. So we're already getting closer to it. Now we just need to change some of the styling options to get it to look similar to here. So we have a white button, we have a white border, we have this very transparent, but it's slightly, you can see a slight tint on it. This font is white, and let's see if we can get it pretty close to that. So I'm going to go ahead and take that color code again. Usually I will make a notepad and put these color codes in it so I don't have to keep using the color picker. All right, so we're going to spend most of our time in the style options, but let's go right here real quick. And I want to click on the submit button and change what it says. I'm going to make it say create an account. I just want to match the text there to make it say create an account. Now, when you are creating a form, you want to go to this option here, email and options. You want to put your email address in. This is where the submissions to this form are going to go to, and you also want to put in your subject line and all this kind of other information right there. So let's go to our style options. And first of all, let's see, I don't want the form styling. Let's look at the field. So the text color is going to be white. So I can choose the option white right here. Now we can't see it because the background's also white. And the typography, we'll see if we have to play around with that. The background is white, but we're going to make it transparent. So I'm going to go all the way down, but up just a tad because I think it was had a slight tint to it. There we go. So I'm going to do that. And the border color, I am going to make a border, and I'm going to make that white. Now let's see if I need to make it any thicker. I'm going to go here. Okay, here's DigitalOcean, and then here's us. So it looks right. So that's pretty close. Now I'm going to go ahead and start playing around with that button and seeing if we can get that pretty close. So now I'm going to go into the styling of the button, and let's go ahead and make the color of the text what I copied in my clipboard, which is that deep blue. And then I'm going to want to change the background color to white. And it looks like we are getting there. We are pretty close now. So when I go here, we can see, yep, it looks pretty close to me. So now let me go ahead and put this in my clipboard, this information about the terms of service right there. Now, obviously, there's little adjustments we can make. We can adjust the spacing. We can get it exactly perfect, but I'm going to go with this for sakes of time. So, okay, I'm going to click on the text block here, and let's go ahead and click on the edit there. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to paste in my little bit of text. Now, here's an option. You can highlight this and change the text color here if you want. But then if you do that and make it white, you're not going to be able to see it here because it's going to show it here. But if we go to style, we can change the text color here and we can make that white. So that's kind of a good best practice there to go ahead and change it in the style. Don't change it in here unless you want multiple different colors. You can do that. Now it's obviously a little too big right here, so we're going to make that smaller. We're going to turn on the typography, and my guess is well, let's just see. I don't want to guess. Let's see how big that is. That is 14 pixels. So let's go ahead and set this to 14 as well. Just like this. And there is our terms of service. Now, one of the problems so far is this is aligned to the top. We want to kind of push it down into the middle. You see how this is in the middle? Right there, we want to push that down into the middle a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the column options for right here. So I'm going to click on column and it's going to pull up my column settings. And in here, we're going to have an alignment option. That alignment option can be found underneath layout. And it says content position. And we want to change that to be in the middle. So now when I go like this, it's showing that perfectly in the middle. Now, obviously, we could put a little spacing and stuff like that, but this is pretty close as it is. You can see it's very close. Now, you saw how easy that was to change the form and style it like that. It's pretty amazing. So, all right, let's go back here. Now what we want to do is we want to start working on the next section. We just want a headline, and then we want to start with a big feature grid right there. So I'm going to make this two separate sections, one with the headline and one with these feature grids. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to create a new section, and it's just going to be one column like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put the headline in. I like the styling of this. I think it's probably similar to that, but a different color. So we see this and then we see that. Let's see what the size difference is. This right here, we're running at 32, and this right here, we're at 40. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this like that, and then I'm going to drag and drop it here. I'm going to click on it. First, I'm going to change the color to black. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit just to soften it up. And then I'm going to click on the content. I want it all on one line. Actually, what I should do is just copy their little bit of text right here, like that, and I'm going to put that in. So now it's on one line. I do want it centered, so I can click on the alignment option right here. All right, so there we go. I have it in the center, and we want to add a little bit of spacing to the top and bottom. I think we should stick with that 70 number we had here. So I'm going to go to the section right there. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to the advanced, and I'm going to add a bit of padding. So I'm going to click on this lock here, and on the top and bottom, let's just go with 70 like that. And so it's going to give us that space. The last thing I forgot to do was to change the font on this. So I'm going to click on it, and it's set to 40, and let's go down to 32, which is very similar to what this is, the 32. So now I'm going to work on my feature grid, and what I'm going to do is create a new section, and this section is going to have these 3 columns. So let's go ahead and get our 3 columns in there just like that. Now let's find which element we should use. Now I could just put in each of those columns an image, a headline, and then some text, but there is a specific element that is made to do that. So let's just scroll down to that element right now. It's going to be a general element, and it's going to be this image box right here. So I can just drag and drop my image box, and you can see there it is. So the first element in an image box is the actual image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the settings here, click on delete, and then I'm going to choose it, and it's right here. Now, this is one of those things where I grabbed it from their website, and I don't recommend that. Okay, so let's go ahead and just take some of this text right here and see if we can get it to look very similar, just like this. And I'm going to paste that in there. So we have it so far, except there's alignment differences. Here it's aligned to the right, here it's not, and then there's some changes that need to be made right there. So we are going to go into the style settings first, and then we're going to go to where it says content and look at some of the options we have there. So if I was in the content tab right here, you see there was an image position, and if I go like this, it's not going to be what I want. It's going to look like that, and that's not what we're after. So if I go to the style, the overall alignment is going to be right here underneath the content tab, and I can choose to the right. And that's kind of what we see happening over on DigitalOcean's site. Now for the title, the font looks a little too thick, and I don't know if the size is right. Let's see. So it is a 24, and it's a 600 in the weight of the font. So let's go ahead in the title and let's make the color similar to that. Normally I would suggest having your font color codes in a text editor where you can just copy and paste it across. I'm going to customize the typography. I'm going to make this 32, just like we saw. Actually, it wasn't 32, it was 24, sorry. And it's a little too thick. Let's see what the 600 looks like. Yeah, it's a different font. So I'm going to go down to 400, maybe 500. There we go. I'll do 500 just like that. And you can see, let me get out of what font. It's looking pretty good here. And the content color should be a little darker. So when I go down to description, let's go to the font. Let's make that darker as well. Just like that. That looks good to me. So now let's see how this is looking. And I'm going to compare it, and it looks fine to me. You can, of course, manipulate the spacing a little bit. So now what I would do is I'm going to duplicate it 2 times like this. And I'm going to drag and drop it over. And I'm going to just duplicate this entire section. I guess if I wanted to, I could just duplicate it and have 2 elements in each of these rows. I could just go like this and like this. And then I can put some spacing between it. But I think I'm going to just make it a separate section altogether. I'm going to delete those out, and I'm going to click on section, and I'm going to just duplicate the section. Now we have some spacing issues. We definitely want to have a bit of spacing between these. So let's go here to section, and I'm going to pull up the section options. I'm going to go to advanced, and for that I'm going to margin to push some space between these. So I'm going to unlock that, and I am going to, actually here's a situation where I think we can keep it locked, and then we'll increase both of them at the same time. So maybe something like, let's see, I'm eyeballing it, something like that, that's fine. So let's just go up to 65 just for kicks. And there it is. So far we have that, and then we have our feature grid. Okay, so now is going to be the hard part of this, and that is to create this grid. I'm not going to put a headline. You know how to do that. You already know how to do a button. I'm just going to work on this grid for the remainder of this video and this pricing grid. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Elementor. I'm going to click on add a new section, and I want a 5-column option. Now, what's odd is most page builders don't give you a 5-column option, but Elementor does, and I like that. A couple years ago, I used Visual Composer, and if you've used that page builder, you know there is no 5-column option. I don't know why that is, but I've experienced that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and we're going to make this 5-column pricing table right now. Now this is probably also one of the most powerful pro elements is this pricing table. I've never seen a pricing table plugin or software that has this much power. It's and options to customize it. So here it is, price table. I'm going to drag and drop it in there. And so this is just the default look that it's giving us. And we're going to get this all changed to look similar to here, where we have some line items. There's no line in it. We have $1. We have a number here for the price, and then we have this little bit of information just appearing off to the side of that, and we have this border, this blue border. So let's go ahead and see how fast we can do that. So I'm going to go into the options here for it, and they're right here on the side. So we're not going to use a title or a subtitle. It's that information right there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those options. And what's nice is if you don't want them, you just remove the text and they just completely disappear. And so there's our header. And for the pricing, we're going to just make it similar to what we see on DigitalOcean's website, which is $5. And instead of monthly, we're going to do that /MO, just like that, per month. We're going to move it, obviously. Okay, so that's our pricing, and then we have our features right here, and I don't think we need to adjust anything in them. Icon color, we're not going to adjust anything in those, so let me collapse that. In the footer, if you notice here, there's actually just one big button here. This is more for informational purposes. So I'm going to remove the payment button that is right there. So all you have to do is highlight and remove it. And that's what I love about this pricing table builder. That's as simple as it is to get rid of that button if you don't want it. And I don't want this additional bit of info there. And you can see there it is. Now, obviously, we have some spacing issues. And what I did to overcome that is I just put a space in right there, just literally a space, and it kind of put that space back there for me. So I'm going to collapse footer, go into ribbon, and I don't want that ribbon there. I do think the ribbons are pretty awesome, and you can put it on whatever side you want, and you can make it say whatever you want. But for this example, I'm going to have to remove it just like that. Now let's go into the style and take a look at some of our options there. So our background color, we know we want that to be white, just like this, and that's our background color. And actually, I remember now when I was initially making this page, that was actually just for the header, and we got rid of the header, the title, and the subtitle. So let's go ahead and collapse that. I actually didn't need to do that. We're actually going to now start playing around with the pricing options. So the background color here is going to be white. Let's see if that gets us. That got us halfway there. Oops, and we have more options here we want to play around with. The padding, I don't think we need to play around with. The color is fine. I can play around with the typography as you've seen. The currency symbol, that's okay as well. And I think it's this fractional part is what we need to play around with. No, not the fractional part. It's the period. Let's see. Position below, position beside. There it is. We want that position beside. And let's see, I think now I might be, there we go. So to get this there, I had to, for the period, I had to position it beside, and then I have this vertical position option right here. So we're going to go to the bottom, and that's what we saw right there. It's just right there on the bottom. Okay, so that is the pricing. Let's go to our features, and it's the same thing. We're going to get our background color just like that. And then let's change the color of the items. We want that blue. I don't think I have it in my clipboard anymore. And this is why I say it's good to have a little text editor where you're saving all this stuff. Let's take the blue right there. There it is. Okay, so I got the blue. So let's paste that blue in. And there it is. Ooh, it's so bright. Okay, so I'm going to click on that to collapse it. I'm not going to play around with any of the typography. The alignment is fine. The width is fine. Now the divider, let's get rid of that. Now the divider, we probably need to maybe space a little bit. Let's see if we can space it out just a little bit. I think I'm going to have to go into the typography option like this. and scroll down to the line height. Let's see. There we go. So we can space that however we want. Maybe just a little bit more like that. Actually, it gives you the option of pixel or EM. I prefer pixel like that. Let's see. There we go. Just like that. That looks fine to me. Okay, so that is it for our line items, the feature box. Let's go to the footer. It's this area here. We're going to make that white. And there it is. So we're getting pretty close now. We're getting pretty close. Now, let's go into the Advanced tab. Now, I need to make a border on this item right here. So I'm going to click on Background and Border, and I'm going to choose a color, and I'm going to put that same bright blue in, just like that. And now we have a border. But the only problem is this border needs to touch this border, and they all kind of need to link together. But we have that little bit of padding that you see in the column there, and I'm gonna have to get rid of that. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to click on Column, and now I'm in the column settings. I'm gonna go to Advanced, and for the padding, I'm gonna put 0. Let's see. So we have 0. Now let's see what it looks like. Well, when I did that, I lost my little border. So let's see if we can get that back. I wonder if I needed to make this 1. Let's see. Let's see if that got me my border back. It didn't. Okay, so I got to go find what happened to my border. I'm going to go ahead and now click on the element here again. And I'm going to go into Advanced, and I'm going to go to Background and Border. Maybe I just need to make my border thicker. Or maybe I actually just need to select the border by choosing border type solid and then 1. How about that? Okay, there's my border. I knew I would find you. And then I got to select that border color. Okay, I'm just getting a little ahead of myself. Let's choose a border color. And we've got that blue. Ah, there it is. Now it's standing out. Now we're getting ourselves a border. You can see that right there. Okay. So now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to clone this all the way across, and in each column I'm going to have to get rid of that padding so they all kind of butt up against each other. And so what I'm going to do here is just duplicate it 4 times, just like that, and I'm going to move them all across. You can see I have to adjust the padding. So I'm going to do this one last because I need to figure out how to make it a little larger and put a box shadow. So you can see it's larger, and then there's this kind of a blue box shadow. So what I'm going to do is just blast through this, and I'm going to set this to 0, and I'm going to click on here. Actually, make sure I do it right. Click on Column for right there, and do the same thing here, just like that. And then for here, I'm going to click on that and make sure I get that right there. Looks like I didn't get it right here. That's okay. Let's go and do that again. There we go. So now we have it looking pretty close to where we want it. It looks like I might have accidentally messed this column up. So let me click on that column and see what I did wrong. Let's see, let's go like this, and this is good, this is good. I think I messed this column up. I will go and fix that in a moment, but let's deal with the elephant in the room, and that is this. I need to make this bigger. I need to add some box shadow, and I need it to just sit on top of this and on top of this. So let's see how we can accomplish that. So I'm going to click on the actual element right here. And then I'm going to go to the Advanced tab, and I'm going to play around with the margin and the padding. So let's see here. So for the margin, let's see how a negative margin is going to look, if that's going to accomplish it. So I'm going to go to a negative 10 like that. And actually, I think I needed to zero it out in the column first. So let me go back into the column. Remember how I zeroed it out on all of these, the padding? So let's zero that out. Okay, that's what well, there we go. We already have it taller, and we already have it here. And right here on this side, this one's on top of that, and there's a little fix for that. So let me go back into here. Go back into my advanced, and of course I want to add that box shadow as well. Now I think I needed to play around with the padding a little bit. Let's see, actually let me zero out something in the column. If I go back into the column, let me make my margins 0 as well. And all that's left is stretching it down. I know how I did this. I was playing around with this bottom area right here in the settings. So if I'm in the price table and I went into the style and then I went into the footer, I've got some options here for additional information, and this is the info that it shows here. So let's see if there we go. Now it's going. There we go, just like that. You see how it's increasing? That's actually perfect for me. Maybe down to 40 or something, maybe 35. 35 like that. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a box shadow going on that. So I think for that I'd just go to advanced and then go to background and border, and then here's a box shadow. So now I've got a bit of a box shadow going on too, but my big problem is that this element is not on top of this element. And unfortunately with this, there's a little tweak you need to make via CSS. Now, if you have the Pro version, and you must if you're making this pricing table, if we go into the Advanced tab of the pricing table, there's this custom CSS option, and we just need to paste something in there. And so I'm going to bring that over right now. Actually, we don't put it on the price table, we put it on the column itself to have this column be on top of everything else, and it's called a Z index. So when I click on column and go to advanced and then custom CSS, I'm just going to paste it in right there, and you can see it immediately lifted it on top of everything else. And so this is called a Z index, and it's basically how you use CSS to instruct the browser what would appear on top. So sometimes when you see a sticky header on a website and you scroll and it appears on top of everything, that's usually going to have a Z index that's a higher number than other Z indexes. And I know it's a little geeky there, but so let's see how it's looking right now. And you can see it's actually pretty close. The only thing I would do differently is I would scrunch these in just ever so slightly. And I've got to find out what happened here, why these aren't linked up. Let's do that real quick. Okay, I figured it out. I had just put a wrong setting here for padding. I had ones in there for this column, and that's where that problem was coming in. So you can see how we're looking so far. You can see we've got ourselves a header here that's pretty spot on, a feature grid, and this pricing table that is pretty spot on. The only thing I would do is maybe add a little bit of spacing in this pricing table section here. So we were doing a bit of 70, I think. Okay, so we've got some spacing now. Let's just add a quick section here and wrap this up, and we're gonna just go ahead and get that blue again, and the same blue that's in this column there. I'm gonna go like this. Gonna get my blue, gonna make the background of this section that same blue. I'm going to go to style. I'm going to just do a solid color this time. Not going to do a gradient. Paste in my color. And then we have this font here. And then we have a button or a headline. So I could just grab this if I wanted, like that. And we can change the alignment to be centered, like that. And we can go ahead and get ourselves this little bit of text right here. And remember that whole issue with the line break where we have to put that BR. So I'm going to do that after the letter A. So large right here. So I'm going to go like that, and it's going to give us that. And then we just need to add a bit of spacing to it. So let's go ahead and we're going to unlock here. And for the top, I'm going to go 70. And for the bottom, 70, just like that. And then we can just pop a button in there and use that same style. So anyways, this is it. I mean, this is it right here. I'm going to do a little bit of touch up, and I will have a link down below for you to import this if you wanted to have it for yourself. Sorry for the length of this video. I just wanted to show you the power of Elementor and how you can pretty much design whatever you want. You just have to get familiar with the controls and find what you want to design. And with the tools it gives you, there's literally no limits. You could solve the only two little bits of code I added was at one point I added the bracket BR to get this to be 2 lines, and the only other bit of code I added was to put this on top of this element here on the right of it. That's the only time I added any bit of code to this template, and we are able to do the most amazing things with it. Remember, I've got a link down below if you wanted to purchase Elementor Pro. I also have a link down below to hosting. You get 57% off, and if you did purchase Elementor Pro through my link, I will happily give you access to my Elementor Essentials course. Because you made it to the end of the video, I have a free gift for you. But before I talk about that, I want to ask you to do something for me. If you could give this video a thumbs up down below, that would really help me out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and become a subscriber and support this channel. And if you'd like YouTube to notify you when I upload new videos, there's a little bell next to that subscribe button. You can click on that and set that up as well. If you have any questions or a comment about this video, I'd love to answer it. There's a comment section down below. All you have to do is put in your question or comment. I respond to every single one. Hey, I made a course just for you, and it's called the 3 Steps to WordPress Success, and I want to give this to you. If you'd like to enroll in this course, there's a button right here off to the right. You can go ahead and click on that, enroll as a student, and that's just my way of saying thank you for supporting me and making it to the end of this video. I make them just for you.